Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. Y'all already know what this show is. The show, it's back there in the bright lights, and that is the one and only, the world famous, the number one Backport Sports podcast with your man Fonz.
And Quan.
All right, so y'all getting the treat this week. I'm just letting you know, y'all getting the treat this week. So, you doing good, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Couldn't get any better, As long as I'm on the green side, I'm good.
That's it. Hey, as long as you're 10 toes down, not 10 toes up.
Trying
That's
to
how it's supposed to be. But as always, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for riding with us. We've been doing this podcast TV show thing for a minute, and everybody that's involved, everybody that look out for us, everybody that gets the word out for us, man, we appreciate you guys, man, for real.
For sure.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the topic. This is one that I kind of struggle with, honestly. Now, mind you, this topic is a week old. Everybody has talked about it ad nauseum, so you can say we're kind of late to the party, but I don't care. This is our show. We do what we want. So, even though the Jets played on Monday Night Football, their former coach, I should say, Robert Saleh, was fired last week. He was fired. He was dismissed. He was canned. He was let go. And he was told his services was no longer needed. Mm-hmm. So let's give a little context. Let's go to the numbers. So he was the coach for 4 years. That's 56 games, 56 total games. In those 56 games, he has a 20-36 record, never having a winning season. His final game was a 23-17 loss to the Vikings in London. So let's talk about it for a second. To me, that win-loss record is kind of skewed, and I'm going to tell y'all why in a second. So these are the quarterbacks that Robert Saleh had to try out there. Mind you, Robert Saleh was a defensive coordinator, so anyway. Zach Wilson. Mike White. Trevor Siemian. Tim Boyle. Joe Flacco. Aaron Rodgers. And this is per Adam Schefter. He was on X, Twitter, the Hub, whatever y'all call it now. So Saleh was replaced by defensive coordinator Jeff Albrecht, who will serve as the interim head coach for the remainder of the 2024 season. That's according to Woody Johnson, who was the Jets owner. Right. So let's talk about that for a second, shall we? Were the Jets justified in firing Robert Saleh?
Okay. Well, let me put it like this. First, I want to say you don't find too many coaches with the losing record still remaining the head coach.
That's true.
Let me also say that with all the stuff that happened this past offseason when Aaron Rodgers not showing up the mandatory mini camp or training camp, kind of put a bad taste in everybody's mouth where I kind of feel like he lost the locker room some. Also, you've seen the relationship that Aaron Rodgers had, past these recent games where they was kind of disagreeing on what was being called.
Right.
So there was a lot of feud there since the offseason. I feel like that's what really started it. Do I feel like it was a little premature? Yes.
Yeah.
With the quarterbacks that you mentioned, I mean, I don't even know how you win 5 games with the quarterbacks you mentioned outside of Aaron Rodgers and maybe Joe Flacco.
I was about to say possibly Joe Flacco. We saw what he did with the Browns last year, so I can't even get mad at him.
That was what a number 1 ranked defense. So
I mean, he did win comeback player of the year.
He did. But anyways, I don't really know.
Joe.
If you look at it, 2036, he really lost a season worth of games.
A few seasons.
Oh no, it was a 16 game difference from 20 to 36. So that's really a season. A season worth to tie it.
I feel
to
you.
be a
I'm
top
thinking
winner.
about the new formula of how they got these seasons now. They added that
Oh,
extra
well,
game, so that's what
well,
I'm thinking
yeah.
about. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
I don't feel like that's completely bad. I mean, the Jets is already a losing franchise. I mean, it's been a losing franchise forever. Tom Brady dominated that division for over a half a decade, at least a decade and a half, possibly.
Right.
I mean, I don't feel like it's completely his fault. Um, and just based off of what I've seen from last night, I don't really know whether determination really moved anything for them because there's so many other factors that goes into the struggles of the New York Jets right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say all that to say, um, do I think he should have been fired? Yes, I do feel like it because he didn't really give head coach vibes when he approached the press conference. He acted more of like an offensive defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean that's his bread and butter.
You know, but I mean, I don't really know what determination does for the New York Jets. You know, it's just hard to say, like I said, because there's so many other factors that goes into what's going on in New York. So yeah, I'll just say that. I mean, yes, I feel like you shouldn't want any head coach to have a losing record at all. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a head coach that they feel like doesn't have control of the locker room. So I mean, in a sense, yes, he deserved it, but at the same time, I mean, with the stuff that he's been through with that team,
Right.
I mean, he kind of deserved to keep his job in a sense. But I'll let you take it from there.
So, and I agree, but I disagree on losing the locker room. Simply because I read an article today. Matter of fact, maybe about 90 minutes before we got up here to do what we do. The Jets players didn't even know. And when they found out through a text. Mm-hmm. And it was like, dang. But let me give you a little bit of analysis. So, defense was not the problem. Obviously. The Jets finished in top 5 in yards allowed and top 12 in points allowed each of the last 2 seasons. So the past 2 seasons, they finished top 15 in yards allowed and points allowed. So you really wasn't scoring like that on the Jets. Through week 5, mind you, week 5 was the last week of Robert Saleh's tenure. The Jets defense ranked 2nd in yards allowed and 5th in points allowed. Now, let's talk about the offensive woes just a little bit. The Jets offense ranked at the bottom quarter, the bottom of the barrel of the NFL in yards and scoring in all 4 seasons as Robert Saleh was head coach. But keep a pen note right there. And let's talk about 2023. 2023 was supposed to be the year. 2023 was supposed to be the year. But we all know what happened week 1 with Aaron Rodgers. 4 plays in. Achilles tear, done for the year.
Right.
So let's talk about Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett is the current offensive coordinator, but of course, ever since Saleh got fired, the passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Todd Downing, will be calling the shots on the sideline. So he could be calling those plays. But here's my thing about Hackett. This is why I feel like Robert Saleh should not have gotten fired. Nathaniel Hackett. We saw what he did. That time he spent over there in Denver. We saw that. Mm-hmm. He was not head coach material. The reason why Nathaniel Hackett became the OC is because of the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now, I did in between workshops. I was in Greensboro last Wednesday. So in between workshops, I tried to catch, the aftermath of, this firing. And Aaron Rodgers got on the Pat McAfee show and said he did not know He ain't know that he was about to get fired. I call bull junk. I'm sorry. I just don't understand. How you not know you start quarterback?
I mean, he does. I mean, I don't know.
This is now. Let me paint the picture for you. Let me paint the picture. Alan Lazard. I think last year before last, last year was supposed to be the first year. Was it Randall Cobb there?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett. The Jets turned into the New York Packers,
and they still are.
They by a big margin. So this is another reason why I felt like he shouldn't have got fired. I feel like Aaron Rodgers knew. I don't think they told him everything, but I think he had an idea of what was getting ready to happen. There's another reason why I feel like he shouldn't have got fired. Robert Saleh was trying to make changes.
He was fin to anyway.
He was fin to make changes. So in this past offseason, this is according to The Athletic. Matter of fact, the author of that article is Diana Rossini. If you want to look it up, look it up. Robert Saleh was trying to recruit Eric Bieniemy, who is now the offensive coordinator at UCLA. He was trying to recruit Cliff Kingsbury, who is now the OC with the Commanders. He was trying to recruit Luke Getsy, who is now the OC for the Raiders. And I know you know this guy. He was trying to recruit Arthur Smith, who's the Steelers' offensive coordinator. So you can't say he wasn't trying.
Right.
When are we going to look at the GM, Joe Douglas? I noticed his name didn't come up like that. But that's a name. Y'all keep watching. I feel like Joe Douglas this is his last go round. But you know what? It might not be, because now they got a new toy.
Yeah.
Now they got a new toy.
They can turn around the season, and I don't think it's going to be no terminations.
Yeah. So these are the offensive coordinators that Robert Saleh had on his staff. Mike LaFleur. Y'all know that last name, LaFleur. Mm-hmm. Mike LaFleur is the brother of Matt LaFleur, who's the coach of the Packers.
Right.
He came with Saleh from San Francisco. And now, mind you, if you remember 2019-ish, that San Francisco 49ers defense was crazy good. Mm-hmm. And the next guy, Nathaniel Hackett. Butt cheeks, I call him.
Yeah.
He's the author of the Russell Wilson experience in Denver. So my conclusion to this is Robert Saleh was a sacrificial lamb in this situation here. Like, to me, the real culprit, Woody Johnson got to look at Joe Douglas out the side of his eye. Now, they demoted Nathaniel Hackett. They demoted him, basically. They told him, you're not going to be the OC no more. And then the last person that you got to look at, the owner. I feel like Woody Johnson, I felt like he was embarrassed over there in London and had to come back to the States. Because if you look at the story, it's like Robert Saleh didn't even know he was getting fired.
Right.
He went to work when his office, Woody Johnson and his brother went in there and was like, "Sir, you're no longer needed." And they got security to escort this man out the building. So I don't think he should have been fired. I feel like he was a scapegoat, sacrificial lamb. The one they got to point the finger at. But
I mean, like you said, Robert was finna make some changes to how things was being ran in New York before he got terminated, and he didn't get a chance to because he was terminated.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think Dongon, the offensive coordinator, is probably going to be the next termination, probably this season, this off season, maybe possibly.
Oh boy.
Because Nathaniel is just not good. He doesn't have a good rapport. I mean, even now the offense is too basic. As of right now, but that's just a different conversation, a different day. Either way, he ain't get a chance to change anything. He didn't get a chance to make any changes. So yeah.
But let us know in the comments. What do y'all think, man? Do y'all think Robert Saleh, it's justified that the Jets fired him, or do you think that? And let's not think about what happened Monday night. Let's not even use that as a measuring stick. Do y'all think the Jets are justified, or do you think the Jets made a mistake? Let us know in the comments.
We're gonna see.
We gonna see. But man, I think we could call it right here, man. So, like as always, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching the show, man, and just rocking with us, man. But do me a favor, please do us a favor, pretty please. I don't be begging y'all, but I'm gonna keep sweating today. If you gonna leave a like, please leave a like. And if you watch it, if you feel like our content is good,
please leave a like.
You know what I'm saying? Please. And subscribe to the channel. If you feel like our content is good, please subscribe to the channel. It'll help us out, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the long runs. What we're trying to do with this venture here. Please subscribe if you feel inclined, and we greatly appreciate you. Thank you in advance. But bro, you got anything you want to add?
Not at all.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and mosey on out of here. So this has been the Bad Boy Sports Podcast with your man Fonz
and Quan,
and we out.